Hi guys, Kurt and Matt here. With Marvel now, there's so many new and exciting series out there that for new and prospective readers, it's difficult to know what to read.
So we're going to take a step back and do a series of videos telling you the gist of each comic series, our personal opinions, and what's a good jumping on point for you.
We're going to sift through the dirt so you don't have to.
In this video, we're going to be looking at science and magic in the Marvel Universe.
Often, they're two sides of the same coin.
Matt Fraction takes Marvel's first family in a new direction in Fantastic Four. In his run, the family leaves Earth and takes a trip traversing both time and space. Reed Richards initiates the excursion on the pretext of being a family vacation, but in reality, he's attempting to find a cure to an affliction that will eventually kill the entire team. With literally all of time and space at their fingertips, this series can go anywhere.
Fraction puts a lot of effort into making this series amusing with playful pranks and silly adventures, but I feel the tone he's trying to create is unfitting of the situation and of the family. After Hickman's epic run, I want to see more of the same. The emotional gravity of impending death is lost in inane, albeit sometimes fun, adventures. Plus, I really dislike how he writes the kids. Despite Val's intellect and previously demonstrated maturity, she's been reduced to just a normal whiny kid. I'd skip this.
I've also been a bit underwhelmed by the series. With both space and time travel, the comic should be much more sci-fi than it already is. What the series does do, though, is show what a tight-knit family the Richards family can be. One of my favorite moments is where Reed paints a picture of his wife in a cave painting, so in the future, an alien race will treat her like a god. He did all of this to show his wife how much he loves her. For now, though, I'm still on the fence.
Before the first family left on their interdimensional vacation, they brought in Scott Lang, Medusa, She-Hulk, and Darla Deering to take care of the future Foundation. But when the first family doesn't return, the four misfits must now act as the Fantastic Four. They must overcome their own trepidations while keeping the students engaged and safe, which they learn is no easy task.
I think Matt Fraction's take on the Future Foundation has left me wanting. While it is kinda cool to replace the Fantastic Four with substitutes, the students just aren't as interesting without Franklin or Valerie, and Fraction fails to appropriately utilize his lead character, Scott Lang. While he attempts to draw on Scott's fear of losing another child, Fraction hasn't appropriately connected Cassie's death in Avengers Children's Crusade with Scott's role within the Future Foundation. For now, I pass on this series.
I completely disagree. I find this series to be absolutely hilarious in an offbeat, ridiculous sort of way. It's one of the few series that's able to be fun with virtually no action at all. It focuses on the eccentricities of a very diverse and often dysfunctional group. Everything from the Yancey Street Gang to the arrival of the delusional and old Johnny Storm has been spot on. Depending on your take on the simplistic art style, which can be very hit or miss, this is a must-read.
Age of Ultron is Marvel's universe-changing event of spring 2013. In the present, Ultron has destroyed the world. The only recourse for our heroes is to time travel to the past in an attempt to prevent Ultron's creation. Rather than an Avengers brawl, this series is much more of a time travel saga. Bendis explores the implications that can occur when the time stream is changed significantly.
Disappointing. Nothing more needs to be said there. A series that suffered from horrendous pacing and regrettable plot points that made large swaths of the previous story irrelevant, this is a 10-issue series people should just skip. Find the synopsis online to find out the repercussions, save your time and money.
I can agree that I didn't think this was a very great story, the plot wasn't incredibly interesting, and the pacing was pretty slow. But I do think the event is important in that it will have long-lasting implications on the Marvel Universe. Fans will argue about the quality of this event for years to come, but I think it is up for each reader to pass individual judgment.
Fearless Defenders unites very different aspects of the Marvel Universe under a single banner. The cast is made up of strong female leads, Valkyrie, Misty Knight, Danny Moonstar, Hippolyta, and introducing Dr. Annabelle Riggs. Together they face the evils awoken because of Valkyrie shirking her responsibilities, and so they must become the new Valkyrie, or warrior goddesses of Asgard.
This is just a completely ridiculous series in my opinion. It's a pointless story, has underwhelming character development, and the art is just exceptionally average.
I had high expectations for this series because of how it could very organically create stories relating to Asgard, X-Men, and Heroes for Hire. But so far it seems the bulk of the story will focus on Asgardian magical troubles. This is also one of those series where the female cast feels like a gimmick as opposed to a natural team-up, and the art really emphasizes this by continuing to put the female characters in just absurd poses. There's much better Asgard stories out there than this, so skip it.
Thor God of Thunder provides a fresh take on the character of Thor. Jason Aaron attempts to show what it truly means to be a god. As an immortal being, even Thor changes over the eons. We are presented with 3 versions of our hero, one brash young warrior, a second more tempered Avenger, and a third wise, battle-hardened Allfather. The one constant throughout Thor's life is the villainous Gorr the God Butcher, whose mission is to destroy every single god in the universe. With Gorr on the cusp of victory, only Thor is left to oppose him.
The millennia-long conflict between the 3 Thors and Gorr the God Butcher serves as merely the backdrop to the real question the series asks. What does it mean to be a god in the Marvel Universe? The motives, the history, and even mortality of gods across the universe are tested and explained. The story's scale and complexity are truly befitting the mythic lore it builds. Simply, this story is epic.
I think Jason Aaron truly demonstrates good myth building in this series. The trio of Thors perfectly show who Thor is as a character and how he can evolve over the eons. We get to see the God of Thunder at both his lowest moment and his highest point. Of course, Jason Aaron's writing is superb, but ESAD RBIC's art somehow exceeds it. He succeeds in effectively illustrating the grandness of what it means to be a god. This is a must-read series.
KATHRYN IMMONEN took over the reins of Journey into Mystery after Kieran Gillen's run and shifted the focus from Kid Loki to Lady Sif. Sif explores what it means to be a true warrior at a time when Asgard has grown comparatively soft. Joined by the same familiar faces we're accustomed to, plus a few new ones, Sif's hack-and-slash adventure takes us to hell and back.
I understand that it's tough to follow Gillen's run with Kid Loki, but this series still doesn't interest me. Sif lacks complexity and depth as a character. She is basically a less interesting female version of Thor. The best part of this series, though, is VALERIO SCHITI's art. Not only does it have a very distinct style, but the bold colors really stand out. For the art alone, I'm on the fence with this series.
Kid Loki's charm during the previous run was undeniable. Sif doesn't naturally exude the same allure, but with plenty of witty one-liners and a very striking art style, the series maintains a lot of the previous appeal. I've always enjoyed the supporting cast within Thor comics, and without the 2 biggest names from Asgard interfering, this series has the freedom to run wild with creativity. And with the reintroduction of Beta Ray Bill, I'm happy to say that this series looks like it's going to take advantage of that opportunity.
We also want to hear from you guys. Do you guys disagree with our assessments? Leave your thoughts below in the comments.
Make sure to check out our other Marvel Now Guide videos as well.
Thanks.